Hello, this is Ron Climer from Ormond Beach, Florida, Daytona Beach, Florida, and I'm with Keller Williams Realty, and I'd like to talk to you what you should do if you just received an offer on your property. Now, this is whether you're selling your property on your own or if you're listed with a realtor. It's pretty much the same process, except with a realtor, the offer would be coming from the realtor, whereas on your own, you might be sitting right there at the kitchen table with your particular buyer. And so let's just assume that you've got your house listed for $300,000. And let's also assume, for our one conversation, that you and your wife have talked about it and you've agreed if somebody offered us $290,000, we'd take it. So you got it priced at $300,000, but you've already agreed if somebody offered us $290,000, we'd take it. Well, here comes an offer for $290,000. Just accept it. Don't come back with some kind of crazy counter offer. We won't do this, won't do that. Just accept the offer. There's absolutely nothing wrong with accepting somebody's offer, because the truth is, there's a lot of people that's all they do. They make one offer, you can accept it, or goodbye. And of course, that depends on a myriad of things, but a lot of times, you don't really know how much somebody likes your house. You don't know what their situation is, and if the offer is acceptable to you, it'll solve your problem. Just accept it. Just accept it. We'll take your $290,000 offer. Where do we sign? That's all we need to know. Now, sometimes people do things to deliberately, or not deliberately, I don't mean that, subconsciously sabotage their own deal. And one of them is worrying about teeny little things. What if somebody offered you a price that you could accept, but they wanted you to leave the wind chime you got hanging out on the tree outside? Well, I don't care how precious that wind chime is. Just leave the darn wind chime. And so don't start changing offers, because when somebody makes an offer, they're bound to go ahead with that if you accept it. But if you change something like, no, we're not leaving that wind chime. Oh no, we bought that up in Tennessee and we're not leaving that. Well, next thing you know, they're backed out, gone, and you're looking for your next buyer. So don't change some teeny little thing like they'll leave the wind chime or whatever. Now, but let's say they make you an offer that's not acceptable to you. Let's say you've decided if somebody offers $290,000, we'll take it, but here comes an offer for $282,000. So you and your wife talk it over and say, we just can't live with $282,000. Well, don't forget you're asking $300,000. You need to respond to that. But let's say you have agreed, if we get $290,000, we're going to be happy. Well, you know, now we're right here in the trenches. You might look at your wife and she looks at you and said, you know, if we got $287,000, I'd be happy. Well, counter at $287,000. Counter at your rock bottom price. Some people think it's fun to ping pong back and forth. It's not. Just counter at $287,000. If they say no, you don't have anything else to talk about because you've already talked about this is your lowest price. So that's my advice with that. And that's not casting concrete, but that's pretty good advice. Now, another thing you could do, and I learned this a million years ago, but you don't have to counter offer right this minute. You know, a long time ago, I went out, I was about 30 years old at the time, and I needed a car. I needed a new car. I'd wrecked my car. I was driving an old clunker, and it just wasn't acceptable. I needed to find another car. And I saw this car in the newspaper classifieds for sale. And I went out to see this old guy. He's about 85 years old, and the car was 2 years old, but it was brand new. I mean, it had about 7,000 or 8,000 miles on it, and it was just pristine. every option you could put on a car, and it was just what I needed. And so, but it was just a little more pricey than I wanted it to be. So I made him an offer that was about $300 lower than he was asking. Now this was on a Thursday afternoon about 2 o'clock. And his answer is the best answer I have ever heard. He said, Ron, I tell you what, I like you and I want to sell the car to you. And I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to accept your offer if I've still got the car Monday morning. How's that? And I said, well, no, you got to accept my offer right now. He said, no, I'm not going to accept your offer right now. But if I don't get a better offer between now and Monday morning, I'm going to sell it to you for your price. Well, I was pretty sure he would get 10 more offers between now and Monday morning. What do you think I did? I jumped up to his price. I bought it at his price. And that's not a bad way to negotiate, because if you stop and think about it, if you haven't sold it, like in the case of a car, over the weekend, chances are you got it overpriced. And so I would feel kind of bound, and he's not bound at all. If somebody comes along and offers him more, he can sell it to them. And so that's not a bad deal. And you could change that to anything. If we still got it on the 30th of the month, we'll take your offer. And if it's a hot market like it is now in Daytona Beach, chances are they'll realize you ain't going to have this on the 30th of the month. And they know it, you know it, and it helps them jump up to your price. So that's not a bad plan. And now another thing I've got here is, as you talk to people, as you negotiate with people, and this is not necessarily something to do, but especially you guys that are selling on your own without a realtor, you can talk to the people. Ask them what's going on with them. Are y'all living here in town? Are you in a rental? Have you got your house sold? Got to buy another house? What's your situation? The more you know about somebody's situation, the better it is for you to do business with them, and the better you can negotiate. So ask them, what's going on with y'all? By the way, that's true for buyers and it's true for sellers. First question every realtor on the planet asks the other realtor is, why are they selling? Now, 9 times out of 10, the realtors won't tell you. But if you're talking with a regular old person, they'll almost always tell you, oh, well, we're getting divorced, or, oh, we're having a baby, this 2-bedroom won't work anymore, or, oh, we're moving to Atlanta, we're making double payments. And people will tell you stuff if you just ask them. So the more you ask them, because one of the things that happens a lot is we think what's important to me is important to everybody. A perfect example of that's a quick closing. Somebody says, I'm going to give you $290 and we'll close in 10 days. I'll pay cash. We're closing in 10 days. No contingencies, no nothing. Just here's the money, let's close. Well, that might be important to some people, but to somebody else, it might be ho-hum. We don't care. We don't care. We've got another house to live in, so we don't care whether you close in 10 days or 10 weeks. In fact, it might be just the reverse, that the seller would prefer to close in 10 weeks because of some circumstance he has. So the more you know about their situation, the more that you can work with that. So ask questions, make sure you know what they're doing. But my advice, if you can, accept the offer. If you can't do that, counter with your rock bottom price. And also, you don't have to counter right now. You don't have to counter offer right now. Use the old, if we still got it on the 30th, we might consider your offer a little more heavily. And especially if the market's hot, your property's hot, that's a great thing to do. And also, the more you can find out about the other party, what's important to them. Don't get thinking that what's important to you, closing in 10 days, is important to them. As I said, it might be the reverse of important. But anyway, I'm Ron Climer. Once you get to an offer, don't let them get away, folks. Don't let them get away. Get those people down. Get them to buy your house. That's what you want to do 100% of the time. If they like it well enough to make an offer, they probably like it enough to buy it for what it's worth. And that's what you should be priced at, what it's worth. And if you're not, now would be a good time to come to Jesus and get to what it's worth. So let me know if I can help you with anything. That's my phone number. I'm in Ormond Beach, Florida. And call me if I can help you.